Now, moving on from that, we're going to hear from another man who has also been very busy lately. Can I please welcome John Fitzpatrick? He's the Director for Digital Enablement at the Ministry of Defence. John is going to talk to us about the Ministry's work to deliver a digital backbone and realise data as a strategic asset in defence. Now, I know he's been very busy working on this, so over to you, John. Interested to hear more.
Thank you, Liz. I'm going to just share screen, if that's okay, if I can take that over. But hello, everyone, and thanks so much for inviting me. This is by far the most prestigious event that I've ever spoken at, so I'm absolutely delighted and on the nervous side, actually, strangely, to be with you today. Right. Should have gone into present mode now, if that's okay. Yeah, so I've been at MOD for just coming up to the year. I actually started on COVID day, and you know, moving defence is one of the biggest and most complex organisations in UK government. Operates in 64 different countries, air, land, sea, sky, space, under the water, all of that. So we have all of the kind of complexities of a big global organisation, or a big government organisation, a big government department, and all the corporate stuff. We've also got the unique the mission work as well. So all of our connectors and data flows and that kind of thing. So we have a significant set of issues to deal with. My job covers, I work under a CIO who's one of your nominees. I'm kind of rooting for him from the sidelines, if I'm allowed to say that. But my boss is by far one of the most inspirational senior executives working in technology right now. Charlie Forte has led this organisation over the last couple of years to give it board focus. Defence has secured a multi-year settlement with Treasury in a way that other departments are not able to do right now. So we've got a real solid foundation from which to build. A huge visionary who's kind of really got a seat at the board. He's managed to navigate a way to the top table where we meet monthly to talk about the strategy, implementation, and where we're challenged, and make sure that we're pointed at defence's priorities. So super exciting environment, more stable multi-year funding in the department at the moment, and a CIO who has a seat at the board. Is you know, having worked across government for the last decade or so in technology, that's unusual, and it gives us a great prospect to go forward with a strategic response to our technology problems as we go forward. I think we work under something called Strategic Command, and they run the domains such as air, land, sea, and there are two key challenges for Strategic Command in defence. One is around integration and making sure that the sum of the parts of air, land, sea, sky, army, navy, air force all punch above their weight and work really, really well together. So there's a huge integration challenge. And the other one is that we operate in the cyber domain, which is the next biggest pillar, or the fourth pillar, where we operate. And really, we're seeing a big shift. Our adversaries, our response to cyber attacks is significant, and we have to respond to that in a way that we never have before. And we're going to talk today a little bit about the digital backbone, and that's we're really about enabling warfare at every level by the digital backbone. So all sensors and effectors and deciders are going to be plugged in, and that's some quotes from a recent announcement that was done there. It's a trusted ecosystem: people, process, cyber, data, and technology, bringing these core strands together to form the core digital and data network into which others are going to integrate. The business in the battle space, the top level businesses and the functions enable everyone to operate and fight to transform defence. So we're really talking about the ecosystem that's connecting the shooters and sensors and decision makers across the battle space and business to enable faster and better quality decisions and improve the mission outcomes. It's a combination of people, process, technology, data, and cyber. That's just an illustration of how we see all that fitting together. And the integration point on the right-hand side of the slide really talks there about how all of the things need to be wired together effectively. I'm going to move on to the main part of the talk now. And that's really around how that is for us. This is a kind of, our strategy is the latest refresh that we have done. We're talking about how all of this comes together to make sure that data is being realized as a strategic asset within the organization. Really making sure that our data flows from wherever it's received in the organization, from the surveillance or our business systems, can all be used to inform the command room and get real-time decisions to be taken in the center at the top level as we deliver on operations. Underpinning this, we've got a common technology architecture, which is really about setting standards, setting a future vision, and really putting our arms around the variety of organic systems and services that have grown up throughout the organization. So really setting out that future vision, setting out key achievements that we want to achieve on cloud technology, making sure that we are operating at hyperscale, making sure that our standards are able to connect things, and shifting the focus and the energy from how do we get different things to connect that suppliers are building for us into an integrated backbone where we've set standards and guidelines for people to connect to as we deliver those services in the future. The technology architecture is working through all of the standards and the basics that we need for our next generation networks to make sure that our services are reliable and fast and interoperable in a way that they've not been designed to do up until this point. So we work across all of our supply chain and future services to set those standards and break down into the key elements and components. The data as a strategic asset is a really important point. So setting those standards again within data, making sure that they're properly catalogued, making sure that we've got strategic approach to integration, that our services become interoperable and designed to take that on, really make a huge difference to how we're going to be able to deliver end user services for our users. So whether you're somebody in the center or on the front line, we're going to take the pain out of the job. We're going to make sure that you're better equipped to get real-time data in the hands of the user and enable them to do their jobs in a really pain-free way. And how we're going to do some of that is by transformation in people and skills too. We're working together with military colleagues in multidisciplinary teams and looking at creating rapid-paced interaction and responses to events that are occurring on the ground. So much faster real-time information being conveyed, and teams being able to deliver improved services right to the front line within hours and weeks rather than years as we go through. So imagine being able to get feedback directly from soldiers in the field, perhaps with a problem that are solving, addressing the deficiency work that takes weeks or months, or equipping the requisite data feeds, racing back from the tactical edge to the corporate core, and these problems that we can now address by the thousands of miles on the front line, getting things straight back to the user at the head of time. So we're working and delivering this as a partnership across defence with our partners in defence science and technology labs, moving forward to get all of the latest technology into the user's hands at a breakneck pace. We work across different silos, we work with our partners, we work across all of the different domains, and I'm really starting to focus on making sure that our services are secure, that the data can flow around them, and delivered through the multidisciplinary teams across defence. I think we wanted to refer back to some of the things, and we even made it into the Prime Minister's speech. Quoting from that, I'm saying it's going to allow our new investment to be focused on the technologies that will revolutionise warfare, forging military assets into a single network designed to overcome the enemy. A soldier in hostile territory will be alerted to distant ambush by sensors or satellites or drones, instantly transmitting a warning using artificial intelligence to devise the optimal response and offering an array of options, from summoning of an airstrike to ordering of a swarm attack by drones, paralysing the enemy with cyber weapons. It's the most fascinating and exciting space that I've ever worked in, We have some excellent colleagues at director level. Charlie has appointed a director for data. There's one for cybersecurity, one looking at functional integration and maturity. So when the standards are set and available, we're making them super accessible for all of our suppliers and users and teams to be able to get to really quickly, and design services to meet the security needs and the data flows as we go through. Okay, that's the formal bit of the presentation done, and I was going to open up for questions.
Great. I'll leave it a minute and see if anyone has any questions. But John, not necessarily to do with your presentation, but we spoke about this earlier. What have you found the most challenging, obviously coming into your job right as lockdown begun? How has that challenge been for you?
I think it's a huge complex organisation to work within, and understanding the context moving from other departments into defence has been particularly tricky. So defence has got unique use cases, and some of our experience bringing into there and is difficult to get a grip of. I'm quite an empath, so actually seeing the users in their environment and delivering services to meet needs is definitely a big part of it, and that's much more difficult to do remotely than perhaps it would be from there.
And have you found it being a particular challenge with, you know, everyone working from home and getting stuff done?
So I think our delivery, we've managed to adapt really quickly. Like most organisations, I think the live service and support of turning defence into a much more remote organisation, into a more remote organisation than perhaps it was, as they've delivered an amazing amount of ramp up in bandwidth, networks, infrastructure and devices has been amazing for them. So yeah, people are working in a much more confident and collaborative way than they were before. It's been some challenge, but there's some really positive bits as well. We've still managed to get loads done.
And, you know, hearing you talk, there's so much complexity in what you do is huge. How do you manage that challenge?
So I think it's through collaboration, lots of explanation and context setting, lots of touch points, and making sure that we're connected. We are working on shared priorities, and the team really shows up as a team. Every time we were talking to ministers earlier in the week around defence procurement and technology, and each lens that each of my colleagues looks through really adds lots and lots of value.
Great. I believe that's probably all we have time for. Thank you very much.